Oh, I have been waiting for this moment, and you have been waiting for this moment, and yes, now it's finally here. I'm showing you my brand spanking new gorgeous kitchen and dining room and balcony, because I've been teasing a little bit in other videos and on Insta, but honestly, I've just been dying to show it off, you know, in all its glory. I think you're going to love it, I'm not gonna lie. But first of all, a huge heartfelt thank you to Reform for working with us on this and helping us design a kitchen that's like practical and beautiful in a space that's just, well, extremely wonky and old and like not meant to be a kitchen. There's no way we would have gotten this result without Friederike, the kitchen planner at Reform, being there with like her ideas and like coming up with solutions for our ideas, and we honestly couldn't be happier with the result. It's great. But let's back up a bit. Do you remember what it used to look like before? So we moved in like end of April last year, and then lived with the old kitchen all throughout summer and autumn before starting to renovate in January this year. So can I be honest? I hated the old kitchen. Oh, it was like both impractical as hell and really ugly. Like nothing matched and like no lines were like lined up. And for some reason, the cabinet doors were like a mix of wood and steel. Also, they had like raised the windows, so making them smaller. So the whole like feeling of the room became like a bit closed off because of it. All the materials were like bad quality and like quite badly damaged, and like the whole kitchen was leaning to the left. So if you placed like a cucumber on the counter, it just like rolled all the way to the other side. So the floor creaked a lot, and like it was like a thin layer of wood that was just like really badly scratched and like ruined. So basically it looked a mess and everything was like wobbly and leaning. But the one good thing about the old kitchen was the breakfast bar. We loved it so much that we decided that we really wanted to have one in our new kitchen as well. Basically like a spot for me to like chill with a glass of wine while David is like cooking the food on like a Saturday evening. Oh, the luxury. When we started planning the renovation, we looked at like so many different kitchens, but honestly, Reform is like my #1 favorite kitchen brand of all time. So when I saw that my friend Storm, who has like the best taste, seriously, that she had like worked with them, I cheekily asked if they wanted to work with me too. I mean, they're a Danish brand, so like it comes to no surprise to anyone that like with my like Scandi heart, I will like them. So basically they have like a bunch of different kitchen designs to choose from, and they're like known for collaborating with these like big shot designers and architects when they design different kitchens. But like, yeah, they have some great ones to choose from. But for me, there was never any doubt. I always knew that I wanted the Basis kitchen, which is actually Reform's original kitchen that they designed themselves back in 2014. And I always knew that I wanted like natural oak cabinets. And luckily, David felt exactly the same. I mean, you're with us, right? Like it's just like peak stylishness. So simple, but so modern and still somehow like classic and timeless. All my favorite things. So then we started having like design talks with Friederike, like how to fit everything in, because like one thing we knew was that we wanted a lot of storage and like a full-size fridge. So they have like this 3D model program thing, so we could see what the kitchen would feel like, which was hugely helpful. Initially, Friederike tried to dissuade us from having the breakfast bar because we had like such a hard time fitting everything in, but both David and I were like completely stubborn that we wanted to keep the breakfast bar. So basically, Friederike just did like the old switcheroo and placed it on the right side instead of the left side of the kitchen. Et voila, everything like magically worked out. We were a little worried that like the full-size fridge and the full-size pantry would feel like too big and clunky as you like walk into the kitchen. But no, they don't feel clunky at all. They feel like luxurious, like the perfect size, kind of chunky, but in a good way. So let's talk about countertop and floor. So initially we wanted like a lime green terrazzo floor in here, but that turned out to be more or less impossible to find. But do you remember the tiles from Vitra in the bathroom? Vitra extremely generously offered to help us with the kitchen too, and they do manufacture like quite an extensive range of indoor and outdoor tiles themselves. So really, we had quite a bunch of options to choose from. In the end, we went with the exact same tiles as in the bathroom. They're cement mix flake light grey porcelain tiles that are, can I just say it, the most epic match for the oak cabinet. It's like the warmth of the oak and like the crispiness of the greyish tiles creates like the most harmonious balance of like warm but fresh. So I'm so glad that we went with greyish instead of green now. Also, the greyish looks so good where they like meet the reclaimed wood floor in the hallway. So like another just perfect color combination. And it's weird because like we never saw any of these materials next to each other before ordering them. So it was definitely a bit of a gamble, like seeing one material and guessing how it would work next to the other materials. But somehow it just bloody worked out, like even better than we hoped. Don't ask me how, probably just luck. Or actually, it might just simply be because like when you go with classic materials like oak and like a greyish terrazzo and like pine floors, it's like you can't really go very wrong. And yes, it looks like great on camera, but seriously, it's even better in real life with like the colors like changing tone throughout the day in like different type of sunlight. Okay, sorry, I know that I'm totally like geeking out here, but you know how crazy about the stuff I get? It's the Instagrammer in me. So since the floor are like patterned, we wanted like a simple, clean countertop. But most importantly, we wanted a thin one because we feel like it's so elegant and sleek looking. We ended up going with this compact laminate countertop and it just like picks up the greyish of the floors like so nicely. Shockingly though, we went with a backsplash that I never thought that we would have chosen, a white small tiled one. So if you remember the before pictures from our bathroom, it used to have like these exact type of bubbly glossy white tiles. So we just tracked them down and like bought a batch for the kitchen. I don't know, since we've never renovated before, we just really didn't want to play it too safe. So that's why, you know, like bubbly tiles and terrazzo floors, we actually have like evening light in the kitchen. So like the whole thing just comes to life with the bubbly tiles like shooting sun patterns onto the countertop and floor. It looks really like quite magical, I have to say. So as you can see, the floor continues throughout the dining area and, oh, you know what comes next, don't you? The built-in storage staircase, like slash seating area up to the balcony. We did it, it worked out. Thanks for all the tips that you've given us and like, thank you to David for like downloading a 3D program and like designing it. What do we think? Do we love it? We love it, don't we? Like, we still need to find like the perfect huge plant to put in one of the corners, but otherwise, like we're quite in good shape. And when you look at those balcony doors, I mean, honestly, they were not cheap though. Like balcony doors and like changing all the windows in the whole flat to like classic wood sash windows has been the #1 biggest expense for us by far. So we just felt like this 120-year-old grandma of a building deserved something better than like half broken, sort of damaged, horrible plastic windows. So we like just bit the bullet and invested in like the good stuff. And now, like when the morning sun comes in through these doors, it creates like these like gorgeous crisscross patterns on the floors and like on the wall. And like I can't wait for chilly winter mornings, like sitting in the sun with my morning coffee here on the staircase, feeling like all delicious in the winter sun. And I already showed you a sneak peek of the balcony in one of my latest videos. How are we feeling about it? There's another type of tiles out here, the Steppo Stone grey tiles, also from Wonderful Vitra. I actually prefer like cold grey to warm beige outdoors. It looks so fresh against the green of the trees. And now that we painted the previously steel grey railing white, it looks so clean and super fresh. And it matches with like the sleek white lines of our armchairs out here that we actually got from a Swedish brand by Crea last summer. And did you notice the bar stools by the Breakfast Bar? They're the same brand, so the sleek white lines like come again and balances on both ends of the room. So we are thinking of getting like a tiny little dining table for the balcony, but if we do, we have to like scoot the armchairs down to one side and we won't get like this amazing symmetry from when looking from inside looking out. So maybe we could get like folding chairs and a folding table that we only take out on occasion so we don't have to like ruin the view from the inside. Do tell me what you think. Have you seen any like nice, sleek folding furniture for outdoors? Also, what plants should we have out here? Like a small tree maybe? Something that like survives in the UK though. Okay, but back to the kitchen because I have stuff to show you. Where should we start? Actually, let's start with the pantry because I have never seen a pantry like this. It has like shelves on the inside of the door, like a fridge. And believe it or not, it opens outwards with like the shelves coming out of the cabinet when you pull the door. I mean, thank you, yes please. Ever since Frederica first showed this pantry while we were designing the kitchen, it has been one of the things that David and I have been talked about and like dreamt most about during the renovation, like daydream talking about how we're going to fill it. Also, both corner cabinets are carousels and they fit like impressively so much stuff. We've never had a great place to store our like large bowls, which meant like in other kitchens, we've always had them on like high top shelves, like never having the energy to bring them down and use them. But now they're like on display, so easy to find. So if you ever get a chance to have a carousel in your kitchen, please go for it. Also, my teapot drawer is another favorite. How cute is this? But I have to say, my favorite spot in the kitchen, the one cabinet that gives me like a tiny little chill every time I open it, is the glassware cabinet. We've never had a full-sized cabinet before where you can like put things at eye level. And guys, you know what an utter glassware maniac I am. It's like my favorite thing, drinking glasses. I don't know why. Maybe because they sparkle, maybe because, you know, they come with champagne. And now I have them all collected in one beautiful display case. So every time we have a guest over, I show them the glassware cabinet. Like no one so far seems as mesmerized as I am, but I'm sure that there are a few glassware geeks out there watching right now, like nodding your heads at this wonderful, wonderful use of space. And the whole kitchen is bespoke. So the open shelves and like the height to the ceiling storage, all of it is like designed specifically for this kitchen. So it's just like an incredible joy to be able to have a kitchen designed with us in mind for the very first time. What else do I have to show you? Oh, maybe some appreciation for the induction stove. No more useless, horrible gas. I know you Brits do love a gas stove, but why? Like, I don't get it. Dangerous, smelly, it's difficult to clean. No, thank you. Induction, sleek, safe, and incredibly, incredibly fast. David's noodle soup boils in seconds every single lunch. It's unbeatable. What else? Oh yes, please show some love for the ceiling roses. We bought them to bring back some like old-timey elegance to this old lady of a flat, and we will get like vintage lamps, but for now we're just doing like warm light bulbs. And what do you think of the warm, dimmable wall sconces? We went with simple and like featureless because we didn't want them to compete with all the other elements in the kitchen. And they give off this like delicious, warm, even light, both like upwards and downwards. So it's simple, but like super non-offensive and practical. The wall color is like almost white. We had a lot of trouble deciding, but David chose this specific shade. It's called Jasmine White, I think, and we used it like throughout the whole flat. It's like warm white, but like slightly more towards pink rather than yellow. David also got like the new glass door because we wanted the hallway to get some light from the kitchen even when the doors are closed. Very pleased with the result, and like honestly, as you can tell, I'm just like so extremely pleased with like the whole thing. Honestly, every time I walk in, I'm like, pinch me. I can't imagine that this is actually my kitchen. Like, how did we manage to get a kitchen like this? It's just like a piece of magic. And after moving a million times to so many different flats and like short-term stays and like awful places with mold and rats and cockroaches, we're now finally living in a place like this with like our dream kitchen and our dream bathroom and those like gorgeous antique double doors behind me that again, David found for us. So yes, it's been like a lot of work and stress and a lot of like being careful with money to save up. But after more than a decade together as like kind of nomads, we now own a home, and a home that looks like this with just like the loveliest, most homely atmosphere. I feel good here. I feel at home. It's like calming, it's quiet, I have a room to work in. I'm just like, I don't know. It's a bit emotional for me, having moved so much my whole life. And what feels like most surreal of all is that like some of you have been with us more or less in every single one of these like temporary homes. And every time that you have like clicked one of my videos, you have actually contributed like a tiny bit to like each of these rather pricey windows. So again, like a huge thanks for like letting us have this as our job. And a huge thank you to Reform and to Vitra for being just wonderful brands to work with and for creating such like gorgeous, harmonious spaces to be in. So like, no more moving, seriously. Now we just want to like stay put and recharge and rest and do like good work and have some kind of like normal everyday routine of just like working hard and having fun and like invite many people over for dinner so that, you know, I can show off my brand new legendary glassware cabinet. Now, doesn't that sound like quite nice to just have like a period of calm? I hope that you do as well, and like lots of love for now. Thank you for hanging out and for all your renovation advice throughout this whole last year. We are officially done. Huzzah. I feel like we need to have some kind of celebratory schnapps or something. David, what do you say? Do we have something? We don't have a schnapps at home. But cheers to you guys, and let me know if you want more interior videos. Give me a like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and see you very soon. Okay, time to go and like boil something on the induction stove. Take care and peace.